Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're going to do some abyssal testing, and this is doing the Draugur solo in a T3 Firestorm. I've previously tried the Draugur in a T3 electrical solo, and the electrical is good because, especially for in a solo destroyer, because it gives very good capacitor recharge rate. So if you're in a combo gang or like a fleet, if some guy gets neutered out, then it's always the possibility of your friend helping you out. But here it's completely solo, so that's why I thought it was a lot safer to do it with in electrical, so it's a less risk that you get neutered out. It's very safe in that regard, but the electrical filaments are quite pricey, and also in some ways it's quite bad for us because in the firestorms, we're doing the firestorms, the buffer of our ship is amped up by quite a bit, so we'll be a lot tankier. Like in terms of surviving these wrecking shots that can be quite deadly. And then also the electrical filaments are very expensive. It hacks into your ISK per hour. And then another thing is that the damage type we deal here is mainly explosive and thermal. So if we see here, thermal is actually the majority damage type right here. So that's why I think there are multiple reasons why Firestorms can be good. We are not cap stable though. We are cap stable for 6 minutes, so that's good. And we've got dual reps, multispectrum coating, energized membrane over here. Dual cap battery, so hard nuke resistance. Turn off this and you've got cap stable. But we are going to be kiting a lot of the time. We are going to be kiting. That's the main thing that we're going to actually be using to be able to avoid damage. So often we'll just be running with one armor repair like this, to be honest, because the Draugur has a very good range. Very good range. You can see here with Occult 13 kilometers, Mystic we've got 34 kilometers. So a lot of the time we'll be avoiding damage by just using our MWD. It won't actually be just face tanking stuff. And this is very good because the Draugur has a very good speed. It's got pretty much assault frigate speed. So assault frigates are quite slow frigates, but what I'm trying to say is it's a destroyer. It's a ship that's even bigger than a frigate, and it's still about the same speed. In fact, I maybe think it's even faster than a Retribution. The Retribution is pretty slow. They nerfed it a long time ago. Let's see now if we look here. What is the MWD speed on this? See this? 2.4. So it's pretty much the same speed as a Retribution. Tiny bit slower, but it's a destroyer. Come on. It's a destroyer. So we're going to be quite less likely to be as fast as a frigate. But either way, let's jump into the Firestorm Abyss. The Firestorms are good, like I've mentioned before, for being cheap and everything to get better ISK power. But it's still, if you're going to do Firestorms, I think it would be a lot better to just go for like a Gila and do T4s. T4s would be a lot better than this because the thing is, it's just the way the loot works. But even though we're earning like 2 times the amount as a T3 earns, it's still not going to be as much as a cruiser doing T4s. If I just put these right here. And we've got some implants as well, which I'll get to in a bit. But if we look here on Abyss Tracker, which takes an average of like Abyss sites done by people post their loot count there. I mean, sometimes people could lie, but it's mainly, it seems to be pretty accurate, at least based on my experience. So here we're doing Fierce, we're going to do Destroyer, so on average you'll get 20 million per site. And then if we go to Raging, Tier 4, Cruiser, 35 million per site. So the cruisers are going to earn more, quite a bit more, in fact, almost double the amount of ISK as we do here from doing one site. And also, I think that a cruiser will do the T4s faster than we do the T3. We've got like okay DPS with the Occult 270, and it'll obviously ramp up like to good levels when we get good DPS, like to 500 at max, I think, 550, something like that. But still, Aguila will be doing constantly 800 plus DPS in a Firestorm, and that'll be, I think, much better than doing this. So for the price, it's also pretty expensive, like 800, 900 million this whole fit costs. This is more like just for fun, I would say, or if you really love a Draugur a lot. But I definitely think that if you want to do the Firestorm Abyss, or you want to be more like efficient in terms of your ISK power, it'll be just better and more safer to go for a more tankier and higher DPS Gila. I think it'll sound very boring, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. I think it will be just overall a lot better experience to go with a Gila to be able to do these Abyss sites or the Firestorm Abyss. Even though the Gila is not an armor-based ship, it's still, I think it'll be a lot better to do with use the Gila. Because the Hammerheads really, they're drones, the Hammerhead variants, the ones that do thermal damage, which is good in the Firestorm since thermal resistance is reduced. They do so much DPS. Like, pretty easy to get over 800 DPS. My personal fit does 880 DPS with my good skills and a couple of implants. But it is just, even with Tech 2 drone damage amplifiers, this is going to be quite a bit stronger than this fit right here. But this is a lot more interesting in terms of piloting, at least. You have to use a lot more of your skills, I would say. Okay, I'll try taking out maybe these frigates. I'll just lock up everything first right here. Activate this armor command burst. Maybe you could have got the energized command burst, because they're different types. You can have a command burst that gives you rapid repair, like this one. But you can also get one that gives you energized, so that it makes you have better resistances, and maybe good to have good resistances. The more buffer you have on these smaller ships like frigates and destroyers, the better. But you actually do get more HP per second if you go with the rapid repair charge, so that's why I went with it. And at this point, I think I can even just charge in straight in, because I don't have to worry too much about them overpowering me, since the draug is still pretty tanky, and it can also go very fast as well. So we'll go here with the occult, start melting this drone down. There we go, and we'll go for this Rediva over here. Use our MWD to get close, and orbit maybe at 2500 with it off, because otherwise we're going to maybe go a little bit too fast so we can't track properly over here. We'll have our Hobgoblins as well help us a little bit, and we'll use our Nosferatu on him as well. Look, we're just using one armor repair and we're tanking him actually pretty decently. I mean, these are just 2 Redivas, so it's hardly anything, but still we are pretty tanky. Let's see, what's our DPS? So we're at 370 DPS right now, almost 400 DPS, and it didn't take a lot of time to get that DPS, so shows that you can spool up pretty quickly. What's our range? 12 kilometers. We just don't want to get out of range because we're being tracking disrupted. It will make us that we'll break spool, and that'll be quite unfortunate if that happens. Look, we're almost at 500 DPS now. Getting almost cruise level DPS pretty much after not a whole long time. Okay, go for this guy now. I'll orbit this guy at 500 maybe. With the afterburn on. No, I mean without the MWD on. Maybe even go with the drones to... No, actually, the drones... It's not worth me putting the drones on this guy, because this Rediva will just repair him all up, and the drones do so little damage that it won't really do anything. It'll just repair up, go down, repair up, go down, repair up if I hit the drones on the forecaster over here. Seems pretty smooth right here. I have encountered... I think there was one wave that popped me, and because I have tested this before, and it was a starving leshak room. And the issue is that the starving leshaks, you can't really get close to them without getting fully neutered out. So even though we've got decent range with Mystic, it's still not like amazing range. So even when I was in 34 kilometer range, I still was pretty much getting instant neutered. So I just was sitting there and just like, okay, Capacitor is empty. I can't repair anything. I can barely even use my Disintegrator on them and get close because of the lack of being able to use my MWD. It was not a good time. So I definitely don't think this is a really like solid fit. This is more just for fun right here. It would be fun to see now actually how we would tackle a starving leshak wave if we do get one. Now we've got something else, a starving Vedmak wave, and here I think it will be very favorable for us to take out these anchoring Damaviks over here, because we can kite the Vedmaks very easily with our speed, but we can't. We can probably unlikely like completely face tank these guys, even though we are quite tanky, but we can keep range very easily from these guys. So these guys have got warp scramblers. We have to take them out now very quickly, otherwise they will pop us, because they'll get their Vedmaks on us. Vedmaks are gonna have a field day on us, and I think we have to recall our drones since we've got Deviant Automat Suppressor going on right here. We're not taking damage from the Vedmaks. We have to burn these. Oh, recall my drones. I had the hotkey. I think it's reset my hotkeys or something. Drones over here, they're going to take a lot of damage right here. Oh, we're not taking so much damage from the Vedmaks. I thought we would have taken more, because I think it has to do with we've got a lot of thermal resistance. But as soon as this guy is down, we're getting neutered also pretty hard. But now that we've got no scrams on us, we can kite these guys very easily. We'll go with the Mystic and go on here, and we can break their spool very easily. That's one thing that's really nice about MWD based ships, is that if you've not got any scramblers on the grid, then Vedmak waves are super easy. You just look at this, but they're not even hitting us now. We're just keeping range, sort of just kiting them, spooling up. Orbit maybe 25 kilometers. We don't even need to have our second rep on. It's pretty simple, pretty simple. Get high damage. I don't know what the max damage on Mystic is. I haven't really spooled up to max on Mystic is, or usually Occult I'm spooling up to max on. I've got striking dama over here. I want to take out my drones, and actually maybe I will, because it's sort of out of range of the Deviant Automat Suppressor, but we've got unbonused hammerheads that their shields will just go down instantly. The Deviant Automat Suppressor really won't care at all. Like the Gila using medium drones, which have got more tank than a light drone. And then on top of that, if you're using like a shield-based drone, like a Vespa, then it'll take a long time for shields to go down. Here, shields are going to go down instantly because the hobgoblins, they have like very little shield. It's mainly the armor. The armor won't go back up, so they're going to be extremely flimsy every time you recall them. Now here, actually, I'm just going to try. I'm going to see if I can just go point blank on this with a single starving Vedmak right here. It's going to be quite intimidating having to do this, but hopefully we can pull through. We'll see here. We've got dual cap batteries, and we'll Nosferatu him a bit as well. See if we can get some cap from him. We've got 10 gigajoules, so that's good. Okay. Now we seem to also be tanking decently well. Can maybe orbit this guy at 500 as well. Just don't want him to get out of range of the spool. We'll just do one MWD pulse just to get a little bit closer, so that we don't fully go out of range. We're tanking fine though. I mean, we're speed tanking and brute force tanking a little bit mixture. Unstable abyssal depths is a bit annoying. You know, drones should probably go on the Vedmak. This guy is getting wrapped up too much. Need to use another repper now, because we're taking a lot of damage. This Vedmak is probably spooled up to quite a big degree on me, but it's alright. We tank a lot. Okay, we'll put some Mystic in here, activate MWD, and go to the gate. I would have really liked to get the Draugur to do T3s consistently, but it's just those starving leshak waves really hurt hard. And also, it's too expensive ship to really use. Like, you can make quite easily small mistakes here, so it's still... I would love to be able to do it consistently in the T3s, but I don't think it's worth it. It's just better to go with a Gila all around, some other kind of cruiser fit, or do these in groups of frigates, for example. They're a lot cheaper. You'd also earn a little bit more because, you know, you get more loot tables with Frigate Abyss. Alright, let's go in now. Can go this way. And just one thing to know is that those implants I have in there, one of them is like the shield command Mindlink. Boosts my my armor command burst a bit. It is a pretty pricey implant as well, but it's good for increasing the efficiency of my armor repairs. Okay, seems like this is going to be very simple right here. To be honest, I can just brute force these guys with Occult actually. Yeah, we'll go with Occult and just brute force this. Got this Uphold over here too. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. We tank very well. We can turn off our MWD, we don't need that one. We'll go for this Uphold over here. Like, we're tanking really... Look how good we're tanking. We've got really good resist. That contributes a lot to why we're tanking so good. Even though, we don't repair crazy amounts, but we have really good resist, so it helps a lot. But we got, I mean, 99 HP per second, so it's still a lot with both reppers, but just with one of these is like 50 HP per second. But with those resists, just amps up everything to massive degrees. And I just naturally feel a lot tankier because in the Firestorm site, we've got pretty big buffer. We increase our armor HP by 50%. So it just feels like this doesn't move as much because we've just got such a big armor buffer. Popped. Oh, we lost a Hobgoblin. Unfortunate right there. Oh yeah, we do not want to have these Hobgoblins getting popped. That is unprofessional. Okay, we'll drop these Hobgoblin 2s here. Take out the Warden. Okay, go for this Aegis over here. Move towards him. Up WD. Here's where I get a bit of confused if I should use MWD or not, because it's nice to get close, but at the same time, when we've got these like frigates, if I MWD close to them, we're going to not be hitting as good because transversals are going to be all over the place when we're approaching really close at really high speeds. I think it's alright. It seems to be tracking pretty good. The Triglavian weapons, generally speaking, have very good tracking. I don't think it gets a bonus to tracking, but they just naturally, as a weapon system, the Disintegrators have very good tracking. So don't have to worry too much about them. I think it's on the level almost of autocannons. Autocannons have similar tracking to what we've got going on. I think autocannons have got a little bit better though, but it's decent. Yeah, that was a quick poppage right there of the Preserver of that previous one that went down. Move towards the transfer conduit. I'm not taking these biocommetive caches because we're on the test setup. I could have always just taken them if I wanted to. With the MWD, it makes actually looting so much easier. Oh no. Is our drone taking damage? Oh, he's just low on HP, but this is a preserve. I don't think he has any offensive capabilities. When you're going like Frigate Abyss, Destroy Abyss, it tends to be pretty smooth when you're using MWD boats, because you can just go on different extraction nodes quite easily. When I'm using a Afterburner Frigate, for example, it just feels like, oh, come on. Just forever it takes to just move. MWD makes everything so quick. I feel like we're just going to this transfer corridor. It hardly takes any time at all. But there we go. T3 Firestorm Draugur. It is not 100% safe. This is more just for fun, seeing what is possible with the Firestorm Abyss. Maybe it would be possible if I were to go with like a capacitor boost or something like that to tackle those starving leshaks, because then at least I would have, like, for a brief amount of time, a bit of capacitor. Because capacitor boosters, they give you a sudden boost of capacitor. The newts on the starving leshaks, I believe that they are pretty, like, they've got a long reload time on their newts. So they'll newt you big amount, like full capacitor gone, and then it'll take quite a few seconds until they newt again. So you can, in the meantime, use like maybe a capacitor booster to just like boost yourself up to get a few armor cycles off. I know, I'll see. But it's still, I prefer to use a Gila to run this anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.